Today, I will see what footballers spend their money on, such as Balotelli using his money to blow up his bathroom with fireworks, or Havertz buying donkeys. But they only go in our reserves, because we will be building our team around the most unique things footballers buy, and they are not part of this list. Wait, he spent £5,000 on Haaland whilst being a Chelsea player. Messi paid his neighbours $1 million so they be quiet. We're starting off with Lamine Yamal, who quite clearly is a future star, but what does he spend his money on? Because he only earns £30,000 a week, which is a lot less than most other footballers. He's literally one of the best footballers in the world right now. Well, Lamine Yamal actually dyes his hair blonde, and that's all he spends his money on. Yamal said in an interview that he dyed his hair blonde because he gets bored at home. He only really wants to play football. Before we do our wheel spin, which we have right here, I need to tell you that I need to spend 6 million coins, which is all of my money. Basically, I need to go bankrupt like many of the footballers we will show you in the list later on. We need to get a good little wheel choice. We need to get a good little wheel choice. And we're starting off with Eric Dier. He costs about 700 coins, but he has quite a cool story. He earns so much money. 4.2 million per year. That's 4 mansions he could buy in England every single year. But instead, he spends it on EasyJet flights, the cheapest plane company in the world, alongside Ryanair, of course. But he's similar to like N'Golo Kante. He's similar to Moises Caicedo. They just buy really, really poor cars, and that's all they care about. 60k a week Dier flies with EasyJet for £250, whilst his rivals fly with private jets. Just look at this. This was Tottenham, and this was Arsenal. He's not even 700 coins. He's 350, and I need to spend 7 million. Imagine buying like an Xbox console for £300, but you need to buy something for £7 million. That's the exact same thing. Kind of not, because I'm buying FIFA cards, but you know what I mean. Let's see what this wheel spin is. Okay, yes, okay, tossing Adarabioyo. I know his story and it's really cool. Let me tell you. So unfortunately, another really cheap centre-back, but with a really cool story. He spent £5,000 on Haaland's really exclusive special trading card. He literally defends against this guy. Not only that, he literally admits he's a huge fan of Haaland, which is fair enough. Let's just buy him for our team. Don't tell me it's another 350 coin player. Oh my days. So we're definitely spending 7 million in this video. Sure we are. Next, I present you a guy who's been going for money since the start of his career. Victor Osimhen, which I bought a couple days ago for 2 million coins. So maybe we're getting up to our limit of 6 mil. But this guy is a greedy guy. He went to the Turkish league at a very young age, just made basically for money. For example, Mitoma rejected 100 mil from Saudi league and earning unreal money just to stay and play in the Premier League for my club, Seagulls. Let's add him in really quickly in the reserves as a respect moment. But back to Victor Osimhen, and unfortunately Osimhen does not have the best story. His childhood friend lied to him saying he wants to start a business and demanded for $1 million. Whilst Osimhen only sent him 5,000, which is still a lot of money, they kept arguing and Osimhen was really disappointed by that. Once again, quite similar. There's a lot of problems in Africa with money, and that is kind of the problems it causes. Pogba had the same thing. He really doesn't get along with his family and friends just because of these reasons. They expect so much money from him, and he's had a terrible parts of life because of it. Next on our list is a massive player called Cristiano Ronaldo. Have you ever heard of him? Well, quite probably. But do you know what he spends his money on? Let's find out. Also, we've just bought another player for 1.7 mil. We're doing good. We've still got 2.5 mil to spend. However, also Ronaldo has his own hotel back in home Portugal. It's quite a random hotel he owns. It's not like a ridiculous, 5 million star hotel. But it's a little wonderland of his in there. As you see, he's got his beds, quite basic. He's got really cool decorations. He's got his own perfect gym and an underground museum. So it's quite cool. He obviously spends a lot of money on his kids because his back garden is ridiculous. We've got Osimhen, Ronaldo, and Yamal. Let's see who else there is in the bag. We need a goalkeeper, and his goalkeeper will be Wojciech Szczesny. Or if you're Polish, Wojciech Szczesny. Well, what does he spend his money on? I'm sure you know. Cigarettes. And actually, Hansi Flick was confronted about this, so let's see what he said.
I'm happy with him. So he has a great personality, very positive, very calm, and this is very good for us. And of course, I think also he likes to stay here in Barcelona, play for Barcelona. It's a little bit different. He's more calm, and he sometimes he smoke a little bit. but it's like...
That's so good. Flick doesn't care. That's crazy. It's good. It's good big clubs don't mind this because he's such a good goalkeeper, isn't he? Next, we've got a guy who really likes money. This guy goes by the name of Neymar Jr.
Because what Neymar spent thousands of dollars on can't even be used in this dimension. It's no secret that the Brazilian forward is earning over $60 million a year at PSG. But instead of
and now so much more at Saudi Arabia, and now in Brazil, finally taking that money cut. This dude loved money, and I think he ruined his career because of it.
My man has been live streaming free for all.
He does have a really expensive gaming setup. Like, look at that PC. And he plays Fortnite. What a legend.
Neymar spent a lot of hours on Twitch last year and got obsessed with CSGO. The game is incredibly popular in Brazil, so he quickly got millions of people watching his streams. And now that he was spending so much time online, he decided to stop buying Supreme, Louis Vuitton, and other luxurious brands in real life, but instead dropped over $40,000 on CSGO skins. But as a longtime CSGO player and fan, I honestly understand why he has these amazing skins.
So yeah, Neymar just spends so much money on CSGO. That's like buying a million FIFA points every day of your life. Fair enough. So he's in our team, but only cost us 50k. So we need to get spending with our next player, who is Antoine Griezmann. I've literally not seen anyone use this card ever. Like, this is like one of the rarest cards on the game. And basically Griezmann, you know how much he loves Fortnite, and he's quite famous for his Take the L celebration. Let's see what he bought regarding Take the L, because it's not just Fortnite dances. Basically, Griezmann spent $100,000 on a diamond-made chain saying and showing Take the L, a Fortnite dance. That's blown my mind. Genuinely. Now, though, I want to add the greatest footballer of all time. That obviously being Messi, guys. Yeah. So Messi actually has spent, wow, he's paid other humans to be quiet. Let's have a look.
He couldn't handle the noise complaints from his neighbors.
Wow, his rich neighbors kept partying whilst he was trying to ball out of Barcelona. And I love that sleeping photo.
Affecting his performance on the pitch. Messi supposedly offered
and he was
to
playing
buy the
worse
house from them. But instead of accepting the offer, they decided to rent out the place to fans and paparazzi,
wow,
which invaded Messi.
So they just hated Messi. They must have been Ronaldo fans.
Lionel made them an offer they couldn't refuse and bought the house for $1 million.
Messi just bought the house for $1 million, just like that. That's a story I've never heard of. That's really crazy. However, this next footballer did not do quite well for himself. He was so bad with his money, he went bankrupt. Well, Riise, who for some reason doesn't have any other special card this year. So 2 years after the Champions League, whilst Riise was on £50,000 a week, which back then, 1 week of that wage could have bought you a house, he went bankrupt 2 years after winning the Champions League. So not only he was from a really nicely high-educated country, Norway, he was stupid enough to forget that he owed the Norwegian government £100,000. And that kind of meant the Norwegian government had to say he was bankrupt. Alongside this, his investments weren't quite good. He bought a hotel and that didn't sell quite well. He also had a conflict with his ex-wife who spent a lot of his money. The next wheel spin will decide how much money I spend, and Ronaldinho is a lot more expensive than Maradona. So I own Ronaldinho, and yes, we get Ronaldinho, who has such a cool story, and I also get to pay a lot more money. However, Ronaldinho spent money on just illegal passports. Well, let me explain.
But for Ronaldinho Gaúcho, Champions League winner, World Cup winner, and two-time FIFA World Player of the Year, an attempt to evade Paraguayan justice appears to have proven extremely costly. The former Barcelona and Brazil idol was arrested on Friday, the 6th of March, for entering the South American nation on a doctored Paraguayan passport, alongside his brother and agent, Roberto Dier.
So Ronaldinho forgot to pay the government, like Riise, $2 million. So he got his passport taken away. You don't want to be stuck in one country when you have so much money, so he just got a fake passport. Imagine Ronaldinho going to like the hood in Brazil and just asking for a fake passport to be made. And he spent 32 days in prison, so he's actually part of Prison FC. Oh, this purchase is going to be expensive. Oh no. Well, we've only got 200k to spend, so I think we're completing this challenge. And I want to find out what footballers spend a lot of money on. So let's get a really cool next story. And that story belongs to Jorginho Rutter, who I already have the Evo of, so I'm not spending any coins, unfortunately. But this dude spends his money on Pokemon. He has a vast vast Pokemon collection and he buys so many of them. In fact, a fan once bought him some Pokemon outside a Brighton training ground and he was so happy for it. Here's the video. Oh, this fan. Oh, Rutter's reaction is so good. What the hell? So yeah, Rutter's a massive Pokemon collector. How cool is that? Our next player is Heung-min Son because he has one of the coolest car collections. So let's look at Son's car collection because his is as cool as many other really rich footballers and he's not even that rich. So Son owns an Audi R8 Coupe, a Bentley Continental GT, Ferrari LaFerrari, one of the most like famously expensive cars of all time, a Maserati Levante, and a Range Rover Evoque. That's so many cars. That's crazy. He spent over $1 million on cars and look at his face. He is such a happy little man. And wow, look at that Ferrari. It's beautiful. Oh, okay, so I've got 240k to spend and I've only got 3 more players to buy. So this is getting tense. So first, I know Mbappe's story because he's got a really cool new story. So let's quickly buy his card for 188k. So he's only got 50k left to spend. Let's put him on the bench and another player. So because we're going to do 2 stories at once because these people buy clubs. And Modric. Modric is the coolest. So Mbappe kind of makes sense. He bought a French club at a very young age. But Mbappe bought SMKN, which is a French football club in the 2nd tier, I believe. He's an investor. He owns majority of the entire club, which is really good. Modric. He's the crazy one. I'm sorry. This dude has bought Swansea Football Club. What the hell? Why? Why? Mbappe wants to build a super unbeatable French team. So he's doing it for youth development and to build off his legacy. In my opinion, that's farming aura. You're literally just aura farming, mate. Mbappe might be aura farming, but I want to farm some likes. So if you actually like my content, please drop it a like. It helps me loads. So Modric absolutely loves British football. And although Swansea are in Wales, they are part of English football, which doesn't make sense because Wales doesn't have its own league. He wants a club which obviously isn't the best. And he can't just buy a club for £500 million like Tottenham because that's quite expensive. Hence, probably his post-retirement plan is really helping Swansea grow. Similar to what an American businessman and actor, I believe, done with Wrexham, who are now in the Championship. That's crazy. And our final player is Phil Foden, who spends so much money on fishing, one of his favourite hobbies, alongside alcohol, clubbing and drinking with Jack Grealish. He's a young footballer. He likes going clubbing, and I respect it. And yeah, he's obviously got the most expensive fishing gear, costing him tens of thousands of pounds. And this leaves us with one spot, and you're going to comment a super cool fact you know about a footballer which spends their money on a unique item, because I really want to know. Well, this is the end of the video, but I built Prison FC with a load of other footballers who have committed crimes, so watch it. Thank you.